Hello everyone, welcome to episode 19 of Football Manager 2020. Today we're back with Amazulu after our brief Canadian excursion, and we'll be taking on Cape Town City in the Premier League, followed by a Confederation Cup match against Asante Kotoko, who I don't think are that dangerous. Oh, they're actually pretty close to our level. Okay. So this should be an interesting episode. I don't really care if we beat Kotoko or not. The Federation Cup is not my priority this year. But that being said, I'm not going to just hand it over to them. I am going to try to win it. Apparently Pep is still testy that I was overusing Jonathan David. I thought I had gotten away with one, but apparently that just didn't load until one tick over of headlines further than I had gone. Maybe I should take it all the way to the end of the day before I end the episode, but that gets kind of tough when it's only like a 2-day turnaround before my next match. Because I usually like to have all the prep work done in the episode I'm recording, where I record the actual match. A lot of people were involved internationally. Yeah. Chinsei got his first goal. That's good. Grab a Sudanese center back. I do need center backs. He doesn't look very good, though. And I don't like having too many foreigners because I'm so limited on spots I can allocate to non-South African players that wasting a slot on a mediocre Sudanese fullback just doesn't seem that good. At least my scouts are pivoting back towards Africa with the scouting, because for a while they were entirely fixated on Europe, which is great. That's where a lot of the best players play. But I can't fit many Europeans into my squad, so it doesn't help me too much. Pretty routine team selection here. Don't have a lot of issues that are really affecting anything. I'm amazed Mirosavic has not gotten more comfortable as a central defender. I've been playing him there for 2 years. One more win, we set the record for consecutive victories. We're currently tied for it. Who did I want to take? Matenjwa, I don't see myself using. Zeled, not using. Mabakwane, not using. Adam, not using. Nishangasi, not using. Yeah, they can have all of them. Bunch of people have been having good form recently, so that's always good. Because now it's a way I can praise more people than usual from the training and boost their morale, because good morale really does impact performances. People can do well if they don't have good morale, but they're much more likely to play harder if they're in a good mood. Oh boy. Tons of people with contracts coming up. And it's all just delay. So we can just click through this pretty quickly. I'm just still doing each one manually because a quick skim, I might have missed someone that they actually want me to offer a contract to right now. And I don't want to just automatically offer a contract without even looking at what I'm offering. But in this case, there wasn't any. Staff contracts, same thing. That's not really my purview anyway. I've got the staff contracts being handled by the board, so I'm not sure why they are talking to me about, do I want to renew these contracts? Oof, this is an unfortunate incident. Oh, it's only a bruised shin. He's only orange. He might even be back in time for the next match. I'm definitely not putting him on injections, because sure, I'd guaranteed get him healthy for this match coming up. But the risk of him hurting himself worse in that match is way worse than just potentially not having him available for this match. And you might think it's a bruised shin. How can he hurt himself worse? The game doesn't actually consider what the injury is. It just looks at them being on orange and thinks, okay, they have an aggravated chance of an injury. And so you have a greater chance of hurting them worse. It does not matter what the actual injury is. Pretty busy April, but not outrageous. 2 matches almost every week is going to be tough on our fitness towards the end of it, but it's not crazy like last December was or so. Oh, we won Coach of the Month. Not surprising with a 100% win rate. Second place was the coach of Stellenbosch, who won 1 match. Chippa had a pretty brutal schedule with 8 matches this month. Yeah, I'm hitting the cap of where my coaches are. My coaches really aren't that good. Like 1.5, 2.5 stars, a lot of 2 stars, 1.5 stars. And it's been a case for a while where they've been capping out and just haven't been able to hit the next qualifications. So we've definitely we're hitting the cap of their ability. I'm going to keep trying to send them to those courses until the bosses get fed up and hire different coaches. Because I want as qualified a coaching staff as possible. But it's not likely that they're actually going to be able to get those higher qualifications. I was just saying how they're not fixated on Europe, and first guy they suggest to me to scout is a Dutch guy. Here's a South African, that's good. Yeah, I know no one's good there, but I need to get South Africans, which means I need to look at places South Africans are playing. German, that's probably not going to pay off. Italian, we're back in Europe again. Another Italian. Spaniard. I'm starting to think my scouts are just interested in taking the club for a ride and going to all these nice locations. Here they want scouting Argentine. Algerian. At least we're on the right continent. French. Another Argentine. Not thrilled to be scouting these guys. But it's who the scouts want to look at. And what am I going to do? I could say no to scouting all those people. And then the scouts just stay in those regions and scout anyway. I don't really have finer control than that. I've told them to focus on the South African competitions, and they're over in Europe anyway, so it's a case where I can't really force it. Gonna have to keep a bit of an eye on my Lula. His match sharpness isn't fantastic. Traore's fully recovered. Torre's fine after his bruised shin. That's what I figured. McFarlane isn't back yet. I don't know how long he's still out, but he's not a priority. Good conditions for the match. We want to go attacking here. Not very attacking. You almost never want to go very attacking. You open yourself up so bad that even a bad team can run up goals against you. Not thrilled with Senamela, and he's not fantastic, but we've been over numerous times how weak I am at fullback there. Saketlong's not great, but once again, we don't really have anyone better there. And that's it for below average players on my team, so I'm feeling pretty confident going into this match. Cape Town City are substantially worse than us. Unless they've made major changes over the international break, the last transfer window. I haven't played them since then. But the press seemed to think I was going to dominate. And so I'm alright with going with that. I actually brought a pretty strong team given the quality of Cape Town City usually. So I feel pretty good. We've got the 1 week wingback that I don't love having in, but I don't have a good wingback there, so it's gonna be a case of someone not great in no matter what. But it's giving Cape Town City openings I don't really want them to have. But we should still overpower them pretty easily. I can see us running up 3 or 4 goals in this match. Walker's got it now. He's probably our best attacking player. And here we go, 2 minutes in, we've got a corner. We've already taken a shot on goal earlier. It only gets back as far as Margeman. What are you doing all the way over there, Sinaga? Mir Savic's having to cover because Sinaga's so far out of position again. And there's why I wasn't thrilled to have Saketlong in, but unfortunately, rating by the oil states in my first team has severely weakened that wing. They're kind of my nemesis in this save because they have so much money and they don't have a transfer window, so they can just take players whenever they want. But we got a free kick from a dangerous spot from Dlamini. And they managed to save it for another corner. It's not even 20 minutes in. We've already had 5 shots on goal. The highlights are making it look like they're having more of a chance than they actually are in this match. Although that was bad play from Ned Lovo. He should not have given them a corner there. Usually he's got really sure hands, so I'm not sure what happened. There we go. He's got his sure hands back now. just took the scenic route to getting control of that. And that was still only their second shot on goal. We've got 63% of the possession. Seems like we're having a hard time breaking through their lines, but they're not really doing anything to us at all. Walker kept that in, which was nice, but he got immediately stripped. We're not looking great this first half. Like, we're controlling it pretty well, but I don't feel like we've ever really been in danger of scoring either. But we have a tendency to wear people down for the first half and then score a goal late. I just thought Cape Town City would be able to do better than that against, but as long as we walk away with the W at the end, I'm not going to complain how we got there. It's kind of annoying, though. I can feel points slipping through my fingers with this lack of scoring, but Farmer's a good player. He actually was part of our team originally, and then I had to sell him. I didn't have to sell him, but I replaced him with better players, and he wanted to advance his career, so I let him go. Now that we're hitting a crunch financially, I'd kind of like to have him back, but I couldn't have him sitting on the bench for 5 years. So sad to see him playing for the opponent's side because I always liked having him, but it was the best for his career. The club hasn't missed him. It's weird. The stats say we're doing well, but none of these highlights have been particularly impressive for us, and I just have the feeling that we've come out really flat. I'm hoping the halftime break will shake things up a bit so we look a little more exciting second half, because it feels like the club's not performing as well as the stats say they are. We've lost the ball a lot through bad play. I don't think Walker's having a very good game. It's felt like most of our good attacks have come from Saketlong as he scores just going into the half. But McCockpana with the assist if you couldn't make that out. But I feel like Walker might actually be one of my first subs this game. He hasn't seemed good when he's had the ball. I'm kind of shocked Saketlong's had 13 goals this season. He's not one of our better players. But I guess with the weaker squads where we just overpowered them like this, it doesn't really matter if he's that good. If you're just firing from in front of the goal, eventually something will go in. And we have had a lot of matches against really weak African competition. Yeah, Walker's only on a 6.6. He's not the worst player on the team, but this game, but he's not having a good game. I don't think he's going to be the first sub because I saw a 6.4 in there. Definitely going to want to get that off the pitch first, but I was kind of right to not be feeling too impressed with Walker's performance today. And the numbers are kind of indicating that the whole team's a little flat this game. We've been controlling possession shots, but we're not playing well. I think we were playing for a yellow card there, didn't get it, so everyone was kind of thrown off, but maybe Walker can redeem himself now. He might just be having a slow start. It is right after the international break, as he misses up again. Oh, they're going attacking now. 3 attackers. Well, we got rid of the 6.4 that was in there earlier. So it is Dlamini or Walker or Senamella who's playing the worst. I think I'll get rid of Dlamini. He's just as tired as Walker, but Walker, I think, has the better chance of snapping out of it. So we'll put in Shobeni. He never gets played. I'm going to bring up his match sharpness, even though he's maybe not as good a player as some of my other options. We are up at lead. Yeah, he's only a 2-star player, but I think he's the sort I'm going to have to lean on next season, so I want to make sure that he's as good as possible. Because he's also a cheap player. Oof, that was a very weak strike. We really are looking very flat this game. And unfortunately, while I want to get Shobeni minutes, he's not the player to snap this team awake. Other than having fresh legs, he brings nothing to really fire anyone up. We're lucky Cape Town City are bad. Against a good team, we'd be in real trouble here. Everyone's slowly waking up, but it is time for Walker to get the hook. I don't have anyone to play in his position, so I'll put in Traore and just move him forward. This might shake things up a bit too. So let's pull Traore in here. He's not quite as comfortable here, but it's closer to our current formation. Good defending from their goaltender there. Might as well take Safima off. He doesn't get subbed very often. This will get Fountain some minutes. I haven't been playing Fountain that much since I brought him in. He's been making the cup teams, but not usually the Premier League side. If we can survive this set piece, we're probably good for the game. Oof, that was scary. That looked like it was going in for a minute. McQuaquina might actually get us a second. No, that's out of angle. Got us a corner, though. Like I said, I don't mind winning ugly when the team's not playing well. We're still winning, and that's the most important thing. Knock on wood. Don't want to jinx it. We do still have about 10 minutes with stoppage time left. That's plenty of time for a goal, even for a weaker team. They're going to try to steal it right at the close. Alright, we've probably held him. Although Traore just drew a free kick, or got a free kick in a terrible position. Just a warning, though. At least we didn't get a card for that. This is a dangerous spot for a free kick. But no one touched it. And we did hold it with 1 goal. 1 goal matches are always tense towards the close. Ndlovo's gone 271 without minutes without conceding. Siasi made his 25th appearance for us. Fema made his 25th career appearance for us. Shobeni made his 25th overall. And that's it. The rest of these stats are Cape Town City contingent. So that was a tough win, but we did pull it off. We are tied with Supersport on points with a game in hand, so we have a good chance of moving into second, actually. And we're only 4 back from Pirates. If they hit a bad run of form, we could actually still win the league this year. Got $5,000 from Messen's transfer. He never cracked the top squad. I don't know who that is. He was some youth player they bought from us. Lansy needs to pick up his performance. I don't like to tell them to make the most of the facilities while they're on loan, because quite often with these African clubs, the facilities aren't great, and then they just get salty that I'm expecting them to do well in terrible conditions. So it's usually better to just put the onus on them rather than the facilities they're surrounded by. Saket Lang is actually, he's a star player. But I don't think I play him in position usually. That's why he looks bad when I play him, because he's supposed to be at the center, but I always end up playing him on that wing. And Sanago got suspended for hitting a yellow card limit. New record of consecutive wins. I don't think Kotoko are going to be the team to break that. Now we were able to pick things up at the end. Like, no one ended up playing poorly, but it took the team a while to get there. And they played heavily up the right wing despite me telling them to play up the left, probably because Williams was having such a bad game. Or not Williams, but Walker. Get my W Europeans that I've brought in confused. Very few changes are being made for this cup tie, which is good. We want to bring a strong team. And it's still early enough in the month that we can actually do that. Later on, it's going to get tougher because attrition, but kind of a nice position to be in where I don't have to make a lot of changes before these matches. Most seasons, the injury level's been so high by this point that every single game I'm shuffling around players trying and tactics trying to keep something functional on the pitch. So it's kind of nice to just be able to click through a lot of this stuff and not really worry about it, because I can pretty much bring the same lineup. We've got just enough time between matches that they can usually recover fully for the next one. This season's, despite, other than the financial issue, which is more of an issue for next year because I already made all the purchases this year before our finances got so bad. But other than that, this season's been going really well. I'm really happy with how it's turning out. Going to Ghana. That's just a fun little headline about where you're traveling to. I don't think any of these players are really in contention for making the matchday squad, so I'll let them go to the reserves. Oh, the reserves match is the day after anyway, so doesn't matter. Anyone that plays in the matchday squad in Ghana is going to be too tired to play for the reserves anyway, so whatever, that's a problem for the reserves coach, not me. Chikwekwe is not having fun playing for Baroka, which is unfortunate. It's hurting his development. I don't want to recall him though, because he's never going to make the first team this year. And he has a better chance of actually getting football at Baroka, even though it's kind of a shitty club to play for. I've tried managing Baroka before. It's rough. They're not very good. No injuries to worry about at all. The only thing even showing up on my fitness report is that Melula has been back, came back recently, and he's not at full match sharpness. Oof. It's going to be unpleasantly hot in Ghana. Very good pitch, though. Nice turnout for the match. Too bad that doesn't affect my income from it because it's an away match. And the only player that's a little disappointing in our lineup is Mirosavljevic. Everyone else is at least 3 stars. So I'm feeling really good heading into this despite the hot weather. I just hope no one gets hurt. Because with the hot weather, that's always a danger that they're more likely to get injuries. So I don't love that, but the rest of this, I think we could have a potential to run up a pretty good score and have a comfortable second leg next week. Nice sized pitch, not the biggest, but it's fairly well sized. Told them to take a balanced approach to this. Oh, Williams got a yellow card in 2 minutes. Great. And we got a goal in 6 minutes, so that's better. Maybe I should have kept Lamini in last time. He's actually performing for us. So the more I look at this is a pretty small pitch. That's not ideal, I suppose. Because like I've said before, we play wing play. We want to be able to push it out wide and not have them be able to crowd us out. And with a small pitch like this, they can just gum everything up, and it's really hard to find gaps. With us being up early, though, it doesn't really matter because we can do the same thing to them if they actually get possession. Cayer maintain. I think that's not how you say it at all, but pretty good defense there from him. Of course, it doesn't help that Tunkara has no interest in going wide when he's on the wing. He's supposed to be way out at the edge of the pitch, crossing in, and he's not. It's falling to Siasi to go into that wide spot. But you can see how narrow the gaps are, even when we pulled them right out to the edges of the pitch. And we're not trying to do that as much as I would like. Team's playing a lot narrower than I want. I haven't looked threatening at all this game, though. But once again, look how narrow Tunkara was when he got that. And then doesn't try to cross. He just goes straight into the side netting. On paper, he's my better winger. But he doesn't play that well as a winger. Or not better overall, but better for that wing. I still think Walker is the better winger overall. And that's one of the things you'll find when you play this game, that even if you set two players with the exact same instructions on their position, just because of their personalities and the way they've developed, they'll play differently. So you do have to tweak it based on who's in what position. You can't just find a position that works for your team and slot people into it exactly. That's why I'm always tweaking the tactics when I put a different person in a position. I want to maximize their abilities as much as possible. I'm surprised. I thought we'd be up another goal or two by now. Although I suppose they are a 2.5-star team we're playing. Like, they're not as bad as this performance is making them look. And we're not exactly as good at striking as our stats indicate either. It's been a constant with Amazulu for as long as I've been coaching them that they never get as many goals as it feels like they should. We have a lot of players with huge goal tallies for the season, but most of those are run up in the African matches against half-star opponents that we got 15 goals in the match. In our matches against comparable opponents, we've been coming up winning by 1 or 2 goals most of the time. And that was just us getting sloppy because it's towards the end of the half. But it doesn't matter because they can't break out at all. We've been in their half for the vast majority of this match. Walker looks like he's having another quiet game. I don't know. That international break seems to have just thrown him off as he gets an assist off Tunkara. But yeah, that international break really seems to have thrown Walker off his game a bit. He is not looking nearly as impressive. And if you look how tired they are after half the match, that's so much more than a normal match. That's the heat. The travel to Ghana doesn't affect them because other than those headlines about how far they're traveling, the computer calculates it as just an away match. It doesn't do anything about they had a tough trip to Ghana or whatever. They could have just driven across the city in a bus and been viewed the same way, but the weather definitely will wear them down very quickly. So it's annoying that we have this hot a match this early in the month, because even with us controlling this match really well, people are going to be more tired, they're going to take longer to recover, and it's potentially going to steamroll throughout the entire month that we had this match. I think we have a long enough layoff before the next match that we should be fine. Like, it's, I think, 4 days. And I also have the option of subbing in a lot of people because it's not a Premier League match, it's another cup match, so I can sub in some of my non-regular starters and just kind of treat it as a recovery day. I think we're against Chippa, who aren't exactly the toughest opponent. Everyone's playing good, at least. Like, our worst player is Nidlova, who hasn't been called to do anything, so his stats are misleading. And Makwakwina, because he's never really gotten a shot off. Like, he's the striker, but I don't recall seeing him touch the ball. Still, I'm going to try to sub Torre back in, get him some minutes. And immediately Tunkara gets hurt. It's just a bruised ankle, though. He should be fine. If it starts affecting him, we'll sub him in 10 minutes. That's what I was worried about, though. We start getting the injuries because they're playing in hot weather. And they're tired, so they get more injuries. And like I already broke down, it doesn't matter what the injury is. Like, the computer doesn't consider what the injury is when it calculates that someone got injured. It just says, oh, someone got injured. And then it pulls off a table what it was. I think it targets by body part. Like, that was probably intended to be a leg injury no matter what, but we got lucky that it was just a bruise. Walker gets her third for the match, so we're getting about the score I expected from this. Walker's still right in the center, though. Both my wingers are not nearly as far out to the wings as I'd like them this game. Yes, the only person not really performing that well right now is Siasi, so pretty easy decision on who to sub. I'll put Foster in for him. Foster doesn't get enough love. You can see how we're starting to break them down now. Last 20 minutes and they're looking fragile. Foster's actually pretty decent at fullback, and try to get him up to 100% match sharpness as well. I like to have a lot of people on 100% match sharpness if I can. Makes it easier when I start getting injuries. At least I don't have to get people comfortable playing. It was a great strike there. Hit the crossbar, but I guess we'll take Safema off. He's the only one that's not, like, got a boost in their mood right now. Everyone's looking good. It's been a while since I've had Tao in, though. He's been playing well when he gets a chance, so let's get Tao a few minutes. This is not the usual place I play Tao at. Still, 1 2-star player for 10 minutes with us up 3 goals should be fine. Help with Tao's versatility. I pretty much always play him at like the number 9. I would really like my wingers to go wider. That's my one complaint about this game. We're playing so narrow at the front. And I don't know what it is. Like, Tunkara I can write off as his personality, but we play Walker all the time, and he's usually out wide. He's just, this game, he wants to be in the middle. Tunkara's starting to get pretty worn down. Maybe I should have subbed him instead, but I've used up my subs now, so it's too late to worry about it. He's just going to have to tough out the stoppage time. Walker gets his second of the match. He's not playing where I want him to, but he's still playing well. Assisted by Tao this time, so bringing Tao in did have some positives. Kayura Metang is actually playing pretty well for them. Like, the scoreline doesn't look it, but they'd be a lot worse off if he wasn't a good goaltender. And apparently he has a brother that plays in the midfield. These Mirosavljevics getting tired. So's Walker. Like, I might not be able to play a lot of these guys in the cup match coming up. That's that heat. We got lucky that the only injury we took was the bruised ankle, but these guys are looking ragged. We're up to 361 minutes that Nedlova shut people out. And that was Siasi's 50th appearance for us, so that's nice. And now we've got a comfortable 4-goal buffer to bring into the second leg of this tie. Yeah, Tunkara's out for a day after that. And this drives home the somewhat randomness of the injuries. He managed to get a bruised ankle sprinting. I assumed it was going to be off a tackle or so, but no, he was just running so hard he bruised his ankle. But I'm not going to complain too much. I like the injury system in this game. It's pretty interesting, the type of stuff you can get without being ridiculous. No surprise that Walker was our player of the match with a brace. And the Serbian boss was checking out Mirosavljevic. He do well to bring Mirosavljevic into a national team. Mirosavljevic's been good. Anyway, we'll just take a quick look at our schedule coming up before we sign off for today. Those were our matches. Went by quickly, it seems. Anyway, we have the quarterfinal of the SA Cup next against Chippa, which will get us some nice TV money. And then we have our second match against Kotoko. So, it's not going to be the most challenging matches, but that Chippa match could get interesting because the guys are really tired. after the trip to Ghana. And I'm not sure 4 days is going to be enough time to recover for them. And this is where the schedule for April can really start to snowball because we have so many more matches than we have the last couple of months. And like March felt busy. We had that premier or that international break, but like it's pretty much a solid schedule. Other than that, there's another international break right here where I don't have any friendlies or anything for Canada so far. So probably nothing's going to happen that break, but other than that, it's a pretty heavy schedule for the rest of the year. So we'll have to see how the team holds up. So hopefully I see everyone next time. And thanks for watching. Have a good day, everyone.